Well, welcome everybody. I'm so excited to be here with you today. Today is September 9th, 2020, and this is your Team Prosperity meeting. I've put together some stuff that I want to go over, some different announcements and things that I think will help you build your business. And then I know Mike's got a really great presentation for us as well. So let's go ahead and get started. I can't believe it's already September 9th. This year has just kind of flown by, but it's really building up momentum, and a lot of really exciting things are happening. One thing that I wanted to bring up again is that September is Life Insurance Awareness Month, so it's a great time to start conversations. There's a lot of great posts that are out there, that we can remind people, hey, this is a good time to take care of it, or at least get some information about it. Also, this Saturday is our virtual financial convention. Me and Mike will be some of the leadership speakers along with, a group of other leaders, and it should be a really cool event. So get people there. It's in the usual place, usual time. It just runs a little bit longer. And then, of course, for virtual financial, we have a recruiting promotion too. We're trying to go for as many new qualified business partners as possible. So, definitely work towards some of these things. And anyways, overall, I really just want to talk about, making more connections, because the more people that we talk to, it really opens up their entire network. So I think it's really important. And getting on the phone more. This is definitely something that I've been telling myself and I'm doing every single day. And I just wanted to give you all one example right here of what happened last Friday. A lot of people will reach out to you and say, hey, what do you do? And of course, the easy thing is to send a link, right? But that's not what's going to get you the best results. What's going to get you the best results is actually getting people on the phone and finding out who are they, right? What are they looking for? So like, for example, this lady asked me twice, I'm looking for something, what do you do? It would have been easy to send her a link, but instead I told her a little bit. We all work online for ourselves. We have a few different options. Let's chat for a few minutes to see if I can pre-qualify you for an interview. I mean, that's 100% true. I didn't tell her anything not true there, because I don't even know if I want to send her something, right, until I talk to her for a few minutes. And that's why I sent her a link to my calendar for 15 minutes. We talked, and, I got to find out a little bit about, what's her story? Why is she looking for something? What is she looking for? What kind of experience has she had? And then based on that discussion, I was able to send her some information, follow up, and that is the bottom line. Follow up, because it took a few follow-ups. Hey, did you get it? Hey, did you review it? Let's discuss. Let's get on the phone again. What did you like? What didn't you like? So she's committed to coming in. We'll see. But the 3 follow-up systems, since I rolled this out and, have been talking about it for the last week or so, a few different people have used it, and I've gotten some really good response. If you initially schedule 2 days before, send an email confirmation. Really shouldn't be more than 2 days out, but if it is, definitely send a 2-day and then a 1-day before, and then a 1 hour before. I think that 1 hour before, and that 1 day before just makes such a big difference. And you really, you've made such an effort to get people to the point of an appointment. You don't want them to miss it just because they forgot over the weekend, or they got busy, or they didn't see the alert go off on their calendar. So don't make it because you didn't follow up. So this kind of helps me. 3 seems to be the magic number, so works for me. Another thing that's come up in the last few weeks, and I really wanted to make a slide about it, is, we always have licensing questions, and they usually go to me, so I just wanted to make one slide about licensing. Just remember that all insurance licensing rules are state-specific. But when you get your original license, there's always a pre-licensing. There's a test, whether it's in person or, some of them are online now, and then you do the state app online and pay the fee. Sometimes there's fingerprints. Really shouldn't take more than 10 days at the most. 7 to 10 days is really kind of the average to get a original resident insurance license with all the pre-licensing and everything. Once you have that, non-resident licenses are really easy. You just go online, do the app online and pay the fee. It's like a 5-minute process. The only other states that doesn't apply to is Florida requires fingerprints. Georgia requires your ID to be notarized, so it takes an extra day. And there's been a delay in some of these other states as well, Massachusetts, New Mexico. And then to renew your resident license, you just need 24 hours of CE, of which 3 hours is ethics. To renew a non-resident license, you just pay the renewal fee. So it's all really, really easy. And of course, you know, come to me if you have questions or go to your upline SMD about this. And the last thing I kind of want to bring up before I bring up Mike is the pivot. And I think that this is something that we can all really work more on. You know, we're so good at opening conversations and sending videos. And sometimes if people have additional questions, sending additional videos is not the right answer. Sometimes the right answer is letting them see what the client sees. And I think that's really going to cement the deal a lot of the time. And, you know, we can let them know, hey, see what the client sees. You can have a better reference point to make a more informed decision. You know, you can see the process. You can see what the client goes through. And, you know, we talked to Mike and Chris about this. They're going to be bringing this up more and more. But we really want you all to be converting, you know, more of those pivots. So we're going to be talking more about that. Anyways, you know, I'm really excited about this time right now. This is a great time to build your business. And I'm going to bring up Mike, and I can't wait to see his presentation. Thank you so much.
All right, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. I just want to get right into some things today. Remember, we got 113 days left or so in the year. So you want to try to, I won't call salvage the year, but this year's been odd, to say the least. You got a quarter left, a little bit over a quarter, so try to knock it out of the park, and let's see what we can get done. Remember, every single day as an entrepreneur, when you're looking at your success and you're looking at your roadmap, it's all about your brand, your product, your market, your money, your mindset. Those are the 5 things, the ingredients for the recipe for success you should be constantly working on. Now, stuff like the product, we continue to get better in terms of our offerings to the client, how we can service that client. But some of the stuff is solely on you. What mindset do you bring every day, and how is that going into your organization? If you've got a negative mindset and you let life, you know, beat you down on some days, and you know, the team or the organization finds out about that, it has a ripple effect. Same thing on a positive note. If you can come into the day positive and get that vibe out there, it does a lot for the organizational growth. Remember, guys, just very simply coming in, just practice with your new partners. It takes 5-10 minutes max to do both of these things. Make sure they can connect a 3-way call, and make sure they can join and host a screen share. It's very important that these 2 things can be done easily at any time. Multiple ways to get the videos out. Don't get stuck in a loop of trying to get somebody the information. If you email it over and it goes into promotions and they didn't get it and you email it again, you know, preemptively overcome all of that stuff by getting it to them through multiple channels. Be, hey, I'm going to email and text this to you. No reason why between those 2 you shouldn't have it. If it's LinkedIn, you can add that as well. You want to, like I said, overcome objections before you even get to that point. So if the objection is going to be, I didn't receive the videos, I'm going to give it to you in a lot of different ways. Also, like Alana was explaining to you guys, if you start to confirm your appointments, remind people about their appointments, you cut down on the number of no-shows. And it'll up the number of cancels and reschedules, but you'd much rather have a cancel or a reschedule over a no-show. So get a schedule going, and if you're using something like Calendly, you can actually, the premium, which isn't very much per month, you can have all this stuff automated for you. If you're not using a system like that, just kind of keep track of it manually and make sure people are getting the proper notifications, especially like Alana talked about. It's more than 48 hours out, which it really shouldn't be. You got to have a follow-up schedule that stays in front of them. And when you're on the phone with people, guys, don't just wing it. Don't just get on there and next thing you know, 8-10 minutes pass by and you have no idea what you guys have been talking about and what that conversation's going or what endpoint there's going to be. Stay bullet point, stay scripted. Remember, you're letting the other side talk. not dominated by you, but you need your questions. You need to make sure you keep them in a lane where you're continuing and directing that conversation. Those bullet points, those questions, all of those things will allow you to control the conversation by letting them talk. And that makes both sides happy, and that'll get the information that you're looking for to make a decision about, can you help this person in, a way on the product or the client side, or the product or the partner side, that will assist them. At every one of your conversations, especially if you're having important conversations about somebody's future, whether it be the client or the partner side, there's a fork in the road. At that conversation, everything we do, there's decisions, there's consequences, there's possibilities to everything that can happen. What you need to do is learn how to paint that picture. The possibility of what can happen, selling the dream, selling the product, whatever it might be, and then the vice versa. Okay, if we don't make this decision, what does life look like X amount of months, X amount of years down the road? Because you can't just paint one side. You can't avoid the pain side. That's very important. As a recruiter, as a salesperson, as a financial professional, you need to be able to paint both sides. And a lot of them mentioned this a little bit. Don't just get in the habit of throwing links and emails out there and videos. If you're in a conversation and you're talking to somebody and they say, I don't understand how this could really assist me or what this could do for me or this or that, questions are buying questions. Whether it comes from a client or a potential partner, they're asking you questions because they want the answers to make a decision about whether or not this is going to work for them. Don't get scared and press the eject button. Like, I'll send you a video. Talk it through them. Well, this is how they can, and you want to frame the conversation in terms of, how have you helped other people like them? I've been able to help other real estate agents, other insurance agents, other, whatever it might be in your persona, X, Y, or Z, do this and this. This is how it could help you, like I've been able to help others. Do not get in the habit of just leaving the conversation on an open invitation. Hey, if you decide to come in, join us, or that's what you get from the other side. Hey, if I decide to join you, I'll let you know. Something's gone wrong in that conversation. You haven't asserted yourself in the conversation to direct it in terms of what's going to happen. If you are coming from a position of prospecting, just talking to people, networking, right conversations will flow down into partner and client. But you can't have them just under the assumption this is just an open door, revolving door, people come in and out. You're looking for dedicated distribution partners. There's a commitment there. If it can't be made now, it might be made in the future, but we have to revisit. We have to re-interview. We have to talk it over again and make sure at that point in the future, if you're ready, it still makes sense for both sides. And also, when you're talking to people, make sure they understand if they're trying to make that jump over to business ownership from being an employee, and they're going to continue their job for a period of time to make that bridge, understand that period of time is not going to be without sacrifice. Are they prepared to do this? Because there is a bridge, there is an opportunity, and it can be life-changing, but during that bridge or interim period of time, it's going to be tough. You've got the job, probably got the family, you've got other commitments, plus this. It's going to be something where the partner on a part-time basis has to want the end result enough to make the sacrifices along the way. And you be open and honest. Don't sell people something that this is not coming in as a partner. It's very important they understand what it's going to take. We talked about joining some Facebook groups, joining some LinkedIn groups. Don't join a bunch of groups. That's the mistake that I made in the beginning. I'm going to join a bunch of groups and just have a lot of interaction. I've changed my philosophy now to join less groups, but the groups that I really want to be part of. So if you get into a group and you see it's just a bunch of garbage being posted, people arguing about this or that, or it's all, MLM stuff, and get out of the group. Get into groups where people are providing value and observe, get to know what's going on in the group, and then connect with some of the people that we identify as influencers in that group. You want to surround yourself with good people. Don't just get out there and make connections for no reason. Keep track of the people that, you're seeing that their content is valuable. You're seeing that other people are interacting. And then you want to make, a connection with them. Get in front of them. Try to become friends. As entrepreneurs, we've got to provide the growth. If we're just stuck, if we feel there's a lack of forward momentum, if we feel like, hey, last quarter was not that great, I'm not going into this quarter with a lot of momentum, Got to kind of check yourself. And as a leader, if you're going to grow distribution, people are constantly going to be looking at what you're doing. So are you committed to your growth, your partner's growth, education? Basically, it boils down. If there's something that you need to do for yourself or there's something that you need to do for your partner, it's a core responsibility to actually do that, help yourself, and push other people towards success. We have coaching calls available. If any one of you guys or any of your partners coming in or for a period of time, they're getting stuck at certain points, as long as they know what they're doing, we can help them along the way. Just, either you guys or somebody else, raise your hand, ask for the help. We don't know that you're struggling with certain things unless you actually speak up. It's hard to build a distribution channel in financial services for this very reason. On the upfront attraction side of anything, you can get into a pipeline where you're attracting people if you've got something decent. Now, can you contract? Well, it starts to go about 50-50 there. And then look, from the first part of can you find to can you activate, meaning you get people in income and revenue cycles, it's kind of inversed or flipped here. So what you want to do is you want to provide a business model that can monetize traffic on the front side and then do everything that you're trying to do on the back side. And I really feel like going forward, we've got a great fintech package that can help people. And then some of the holes or some of the problems or obstacles in a typical distribution build out in this industry, I think we've been able to look at, and I think we've been able to tackle and overcome. You help your team by, first of all, setting examples. So if you're out there doing nothing, then that's going to be the example that you're setting. And then also, as you start to have that activity and set that example, you help your team by monitoring them, not micromanaging people. We're all entrepreneurs here, but there are things that you probably ran into that were problems that you overcome. So all I want to do is preemptively try to overcome some stuff that I had trouble with, provide a better opportunity for that person coming in so they can do the same thing and pay it forward. Just be 1%, a micro fraction, a little bit better than you were yesterday. And commitments to a great team, whether it's sports, business, whatever it is, relationships, commit to giving 100%. You got to be all in this. You got to commit to getting better, staying positive, commit to the team's mission, and commit to each other. Teams are going to build distribution. Single people build production. They build a book of business. We're not trying to do that. We're trying to build nationwide distribution. That's going to take a team. Don't look for perfection as a leader. What you're trying to do through this whole process is be really good at commitment and consistency. Be there when people need you. Be there when you say you're going to be there. Do what you say that you're going to do and provide that example. Why would someone follow you, me, our company? Well, we have a strength of character. We have a trust factor because we go out there and we market the truth. We talk to people about really what this is, and we bring in the right people under the right circumstances. We're competent in what we have to offer as far as a business model, leadership, et cetera, and we have a connection. We have a connection to the marketplace. We have a connection to our mission. So there's a lot of things that we're firing on. You need to learn how to talk about this stuff in a quick, clear, concise way. Don't over-elaborate on things because it feels like you're trying to resell your ability or this company's ability to get that person to wherever they want to go. Also, as a leader, sometimes it's just stepping in and say, hey, nice job on the activity. Way to go. Well done. Just not all, hey, this is what I would change. This is what you're doing wrong. Step in there and say, first of all, man, great job on the activity. One thing I noticed is this. So don't always criticize. Come in with some constructive reaffirmations. Things are going well. And then also, for us, I think as a team and really as us as individuals across all industries, the biggest thing that I see that we all have problems with is time management. It's the day owning us instead of us owning the day. And some things that we've tried to do is we've tried to get ourselves organized to make sure that we're doing the activities that we need to do in certain time frames, and the other stuff we get done at night, in the morning, that aren't those crucial business hour activities. The new 12-week year is going to start this coming Monday, September the 14th. It's a great time management system. It takes a little bit of processing, reflection, but if you do this correct, you should see pretty extraordinary results. We welcome all the newcomers. I'm going to try to make this one my best one yet. I'm going to go all out. I think Alana is too, and some other people that are veterans to doing this have committed to doing that as well. This is going to take us through early part of December, so almost through year end. So if you're looking at 2020, say, hey, this year kind of beat me up, stand up, punch it right in the face with a 12-week year, and finish the year strong. Vision, whether you're joining us in the 12-week year or whether you're not, the things that we have to do day in, day out to build a business like this, you need a strong vision. It can't all be something for other people. Yes, that's important to send the elevator back down, charitable contributions, all of these things, but you're going to have to find something selfish, especially in the beginning, trenches of building this out to get you through the day-to-day process, because some days aren't going to be that great. Each day, break it down, revisit your vision. Why are you doing this? It's going to get you motivated. Then the 12-week goals are going to break down quarter by quarter, compressed time frames. You got your weekly goals. You got your daily activity. Spend time every day reviewing your plan, reviewing your vision, and really getting yourself into a nice rhythm and a sync of going out there and making it happen. The goals that you have the most control over. So if somebody's brand new, they're not going to have control over much other than activity. So that's what you concentrate on. Don't put out there things that you have little or no control over, because then you can't really go out and make that happen because it's not all on you. Remember, just open conversations. Sometimes it's as simple as, hey, how are things going? What do you do? I think that you guys, a lot of people coming in, they feel real rigid about the marketplace, going out there and talking about some of our services or opportunities. You don't have to do that. You just have to ask questions, let people talk. They're going to give you the information that allows you to continue that conversation and then direct it in one or more ways. Sometimes that direction is just to an endpoint. Terminate the call. Nothing I can do here. Other times it'll go off into partner, client stuff. So understand, this part should not be hard. If it's hard, you're doing it wrong. Learning curve is going to come from the phone interaction with other people. Don't expect your first X number of calls to go very well. Whether it's intro calls, whether it's a cold call, it's going to be pretty terrible. Happens for all of us. After you get X number done, you're going to start feeling more comfortable. Then you start to assert your personality a little bit more into those calls, and it's not as robotic, automated, and quite frankly, boring, and you'll start to get to know people. And that's where you bring the networking back to your style, and you're just talking to people. You're going to get phone calls that go terrible. You're going to get people that don't show up to appointments. You're going to have, days where you totally strike out. But you have to have those days in order to have the successful days that lead up to the successful endpoints of where you're trying to get to. In order to be successful, you got to both try and fail. If you're not willing to try, of course you'll never have failure, but you'll also never have success. So understand, in a business like this where it's all on you, building it from the ground floor until you get that team built, going to be a lot of misses out there in the beginning. Go out there and just keep shooting. You have to, make sure that you reflect and that you're confident in what you have to offer, the world, the marketplace, your persona, whatever it is that you want to call it, on the product side, on the opportunity side. It's something of real value, because that gives you the confidence to go out there and know that if I get in front of the right people, I'm going to do some great things for them, which helps me do great things for me, reach my personal goals. Warm market. This is a great time to go back to people and just ask them, hey, how are things going? How was the year? Of course, mostly it's going to suck for everybody, but just go back. And one of the greatest ways that a new partner can come in and just open those conversations and get on the phone and get the rocks out of their mouth is to start, with your email, with your Google, in your drive right here is, or in your menu right here is contacts. And you pull up all the contacts there. There's usually several hundred. It's a great place to start. Also, outside of that, I don't feel that we're using the common market effectively enough. It's a great market because, remember, all you're trying to do is find a loose bridge of commonality or association to buy you 45, 60 seconds. That's all you need. And once again, you're not pitching, you're not selling, you're prospecting. It's going to work out to build that pipeline. If you got enough things coming into your pipeline, 4 or 5 different things, should work out pretty well for you. Frame everything that you're doing. One of the things that I hate is when I don't frame a conversation and I end up wasting a bunch of time because the person would have given me that answer at the very beginning if I would have framed that conversation. I'd much rather be on the phone with somebody that I cannot help for 30 seconds rather than 18 minutes. So, let them know what's going to happen on that call, and they'll either fall in line or tell you why they can't do it. Really, you're looking for someone who has a reason to do something, whether it's business opportunity or client side, people who want to help themselves. You need to explain why we're expanding. You need to be able to ask for referrals. If you've done a good job, ask for some additional people to contact. And then set up that conversation to lead to a yes result, not yes in terms of an end result for a product or a partner, but a yes conversation for videos. Remember, we just want to get as many eyes on the assets as possible. You get enough people watching your videos, that means there's enough people to follow up with, and out of that follow-up, you're going to get some outcomes. People are struggling. Debt holds them back. Their financial picture is not good. So people have financial problems. You're not trying to go out and create a new market. It's already there. People are struggling financially. Our company helps solve those problems. Whether it be business, whether it be product, or whether it be both, we have answers. And education comes to both our partners and our clients. So when you look at the How Money Works mission, it comes from both sides of the business. When you're opening conversations, guys, I just want you to understand that it can be as easy as just saying, hey, I'm just getting my own business off the ground, and if you can do me a favor, I'm going to read you a quote, and I want to know if you agree with it or not agree with it. Simple things like that. People say, yeah, no problem. I say, take responsibility for your finances or get used to taking orders for the rest of your life. You're either a master of your money or a slave to it. Your choice. Do you agree with this or not agree with this? Now, I just pulled this out. It can be anything that you want. Do you agree that the American dream is still alive? It can be any kind of question that opens a conversation, allows people to do what their favorite thing is, to give you their opinion, and you just pry a little bit. Can you tell me a little bit more about why you feel like that? So understand, guys, prospecting and pitching, lot different. I had somebody ask me, Mike, I'm not comfortable with asking somebody if they pay out of pocket for term life insurance at the end of those conversations. It's not set in stone. You can ask anything you want. You can handle the conversation any way you want. What you want to do, though, is test and try and make sure that if you're using something and it begins to work, you continue using it. If you're using something that does not work, then you go back to the drawing board and try something new. Can you use your life insurance while you're still alive? Another kind of a question there. The foundation of your online marketing business, you guys need to have a plan of action. So when you look at this, it's not going to happen all overnight, but you need to have, like, if you were doing a whiteboard and starting your business from scratch, this would be some of the stuff that you're looking at getting into. We talk about follow-up and engagement. We talk about personal branding. We talk about personas. So all of these things have to be in place. One of the things that you have to develop, and it has to be something that not only you feel, but you can get the marketplace to feel too, is your vision and your personal development strategy. When you're honest and authentic in the marketplace and share how things are going, good, bad, or ugly, along with why you do what you do, it'll help a lot of the rest of this stuff start to fall into line. Social media, networking, prospecting, we teach organic. So we don't teach anything. We do have, paid advertisements, funnels, all these things we can help you out with. But in the beginning, we teach your partners how to go online, open conversations with no money out of pocket. But the 3 phases of growth, really, you start here, learn how to prospect. And then from there, you go out and you open up additional conversations from what you learned here, just on a bigger scale. In our industry right now, you don't want to believe everybody that's the quote-unquote experts. We saw what happens, how quickly become experts. From example, a few years ago they were saying, hey, you can't do this business virtually. Now those same people are experts. So you have to be careful of the experts. What you want to do is adopt a strategy that's going to work for you in terms of lead generation. Really, you can start with email and LinkedIn. And then as you go forward, you need to understand that digital works for insurance. It works for financial services. It works for the debt tool if you guys are using it. Despite a huge industry and increased competition, you can do things to set yourself apart, and you can also do things that in the digital world can scale your business to great, links. So this is what you look at. You don't have to be an expert in content marketing. You don't have to be an expert in making landing pages. What you have to be is an expert in opening conversations. And you can start down here at the bottom with email and LinkedIn. and you can grow into the rest of your business. But if you open enough conversations, we have enough here on our side where the right people will see whatever it is that they're interested in, and they'll let you know. The wrong people will also let you know. What you want to get in the habit of is sorting those people quicker, not following up with them. If I talk to them today, next week, because of an unknown reason, they're going out of town or something, these are quick phone calls. People love to procrastinate, and they'll constantly put things up to extend the goal line further and further and further away. Make sure you bring it back, and it's okay. No is an okay outcome. Remember, email is still a great way to go, but if you're sending out emails and you're not getting any responses, you're not getting any capture page contact information, you need to change it up a little bit. And that starts as easily as a subject line. If you're not getting enough opens, it can start with the subject line. And really, when Obama ran for president, he was the first person to really use some of this stuff like email. And these are some examples they use. So it doesn't have to be like, hey, I'm following up with you or this or that. That sounds, once again, real pitchy. You just want to go through here, get somebody to at least open the email, and then from that point, if you've got things that you're trying to drive, for example, if I've got an email address for somebody and maybe I don't have a correct phone number, I'm trying to get the rest of the contact information. So I'm offering something of value, a guide, ebook, or something else where they find it valuable enough to give me the contact information. So email is still, even though people look at it as an old and outdated way to get in contact people and market people, still a great way if you do it correctly. And when you're looking at social media, I have a Twitter account, I have an Instagram account, but if I lost both of those right now, wouldn't be a big deal to me. I operate in LinkedIn and Facebook, and I think for our industry and some of the personas I'm looking for, most of my people are going to be here anyway. I'm not saying those others don't have value. I just have not put the time, energy, and effort into those to extract the value like I have these others. Remember, your Facebook business page, you're not going to go out and have, anything put on that Facebook business page, even though somebody likes it, doesn't get dispersed to them. They don't see that. But you will need it as you start rolling into paid advertising and some other stuff for branding. It's not necessary that you get this immediately for a new partner, but it is necessary for new partners. They start to go into groups and start to interact and start to make some connections outside of that group so you can start to connect with friends. And then on LinkedIn, I've got a couple of feedback that, hey, the LinkedIn training was great, but I'm still stuck every day at really what should I be doing? Every day, like if you entered into a library, you want to start to find stuff. Same situation here. Navigation bar and search, whether you're looking for partners, content, and this is really where it came up. They were saying, hey, I'm having a problem finding engagement on LinkedIn. Well, in this search bar here where we usually look for partners, you guys can start to look for things like content. So if you want to look up for things like content on entrepreneurship, digital marketing, whatever it might be, you can search for it right there, find stuff to engage with. And then also you can filter it more by, a lot of other stuff. You can keep it general, keep it very specific, whatever it is that you want to do. But the navigation bar right here is really, and the search bar is really where you start LinkedIn. And then don't forget, the hashtags are a great way. All hashtags are going to do is just kind of, organize content. So if I want to go in and I want to engage something about email marketing, I'll just click on that hashtag, and it'll take me to the posts that are about that. So this is a good way. Don't just sit in front of the computer or the laptop and think about, well, I have no idea what I'm supposed to engage with, where I'm supposed to go. Get a plan of action from the navigation bar, from the search bar, from the followed hashtags, and just start putting it out there. When you originally are trying to find a hashtag, you search for it with the hashtag, and then things will start to come up. And if you like the hashtag, you can follow it, and it will come on the left-hand side of your account, and you can just start to click on that stuff. Like I said, it's a great way to organize yourself so that you can get places quickly to engage on what you want to engage with. Remember, Gary Vee taught us 2 ways to attack content: produce it or engage with it. Before you start producing with it, which is like a later stage in the business model, as you start to feel more comfortable, you want to engage with it. And that's just as simple as what we were doing. Put your 2 cents in, so to speak. Another thing that greatly helps, guys, if I am talking to somebody and then they say, yeah, I'm interested in whatever it is that, product, partner, whatever it might be, and I'm sending the information over. Along with that information, I'll go and endorse them for one or two things. That way my name is going back through their feed. Mike Amos endorsed you. It's another positive interaction that reinforces we had that conversation and I sent you the material, might jog their memory to watch it if they haven't. And the lead conversion process. Remember, the lead generation, don't value your leads too much. A lead is just someone to contact about whatever it is that they drop their contact information for. When you're capturing the contact information and you're starting to get through the sales conversation, the sales appointment, and the completed sale, this right here, sales conversation, sales appointment, and completed sale, whether it be recruiting or whether it be selling, this is what we call the presentation. So this is something that if you get good at presenting, you get good at the presentation, and you produce enough leads, your business will start to go. Your revenue, income, growth, all those things will start to flow through. This is basically the lead conversion process in a nutshell, marketing. All of your marketing goes into a CRM, a back office, and from that you follow up appropriately to create outcomes of partners, clients, or neither. You guys have to have a communication plan. You can't just wing the follow-up, and, it doesn't have to be automated. So it doesn't have to be. You can say, like, on day 2, I'm going to follow up on a text about their pain point that I discovered in the conversation. So you don't want to say, hey, I'm following up, hey, I'm just trying to get your feedback, all these things. It sounds like you're kind of begging, like as a salesman. What you want to do is come in with something creative, something interesting that does one thing. It gets to the target of the objective. If the objective is for them to answer you back because they missed it, you need to organize something around that. So you need a communication plan, and that's an end-to-end plan for delivering the strategic messages that you have to your key audiences in order to drive positive business outcomes. Remember, if we're not following up, we're leaving business on the table. When we are creating our communication plan, don't ignore some of the things that will get you responses. 90% of all text messages are read within seconds. If you create a communication plan that's got email, that's got phone attempts, that's got emails, it's got social media messages, well, you're going to get resolutions. And those resolutions we don't care about. We just want the lead resolved, because we know if we have enough people watch what we're trying to do and we get in front of the right people, we'll have the right conversations and the right outcomes. All the rest of these people, basically just noise. You're trying to get through these people quickly as possible because you don't want a huge CRM filled up with a lot of old data that you haven't resolved. That's like hoarding, and you don't want to be that person. And then through the process of the communication schedule, these are some things to keep in mind. Objectives all the way down to continuous improvement. You're answering questions like, why you do what you do, why they would want to, take the next step, who, what, when, how well. So remember, if I'm getting in front of somebody, and let's say that in the call I discover that they hate their boss and they just can't stand that person. They hate going to the office and working for them. Well, if they miss the follow-up call, then maybe my text is to reinforce the pain point. So I'm going to say, and the pain point is different for everybody. So my text would be like, text 2, reinforce pain point. So I would reach out via text. Hey, wasn't able to reach you the other day. We were talking about getting rid of that horrible boss. Call me back. Let me know. Stuff like that. So you've got to just get into the habit of identifying and keeping things personal, but also have a structured response in terms of what goes out on any given day. And mix it up. Don't put all the same stuff. Sometimes the objective is just to get an answer, get them to call me back or respond back. Sometimes the objective or the target is to send them to some material. Sometimes it's to get them to a calendar, whatever it might be. Don't send the same stuff over and over and over again with the same target or objective. Mix it up. Keep it interesting. Don't be boring. Your follow-up skills as a recruiter is a must. It'll increase the conversion of resolved leads, which is all we want. We want a pipeline of leads in the beginning to build up, and we want to resolve those. Dumping because of non-communication, remember, if I can't get a hold of you and I just dump that, not the same as talking to you and resolving that lead. Then effective follow-up is an absolute must. You will fail without. Follow-up is the make or break for your business, whether you're a financial professional, whether you're a recruiter. Doesn't matter what side of the business that you're doing. If you do not follow up, you'll lose. 3 things to keep in mind. Number 1, you are important. Whether it's brand new day 1, act as if you got an agency of 1,000. You're important. Act accordingly. Rule the conversation. Be confident. Lead people. Be able to sell your ability to help someone get or reach whatever it is, their pain point, their motivating factor, whatever it is. You've got to create a bridge that says, hey, I can help you get over here. I can help you avoid this if you're willing to do this. Make the commitment. Make sure both sides understand. And then, like I said, be able to sell the solution, not the business opportunity and not the product, but the solution. Compounding takes time. You know how it takes time and money. You can't quit the process. Same thing here. You're going to have to let your time and your efforts compound over, months to see some results on a larger scale. Knowledge is the new currency. If you want to attract new people and you want to attract better people, you want to get ahead of your competition and attract talent, learn stuff. Learn how to help them get to where they want to go. If you have nothing to offer your partners and then somebody else has taken the time to educate themselves, learn about platforms, help their partners with marketing, you're going to fall behind. So continue to educate yourself. It's not just about you. It's the ripple effect of what you can create. Understand where your audience spends their time. Remember, we are scrolling on these phones the length of the Statue of Liberty every day. So if you've got that into consideration, and we've talked about this a lot, your image has got to stand out. It's got to stop me from scrolling long enough to see a little bit of ad verbiage to see if you can catch my attention. If the ad or if the image is not appealing, it's not colorful, it doesn't stand out, it's just going to get lost in the scroll. Know your numbers. Quit making emotional decisions. If you know numbers and it takes the emotion out of it and you get out of your own way, now you know, hey, according to the data, this is working or this is not working. I can continue or I can kill it. And identify not only what's holding you back, but help your partners, because it's usually some type of a personality defect, self-sabotage, all of these things that it's hard sometimes internally to see what's going on, but somebody looking from the outside looking in can help us say, hey, this is what I see going on. I think if you could fix this, your flow of activity to results would speed up. And really, it's not really about anything special here, guys. It's really about just doing things and just picking up the phone, talking to people, prospecting, networking, getting to know people, and finding ways that you can help people. If you want something, go out and get it, period. That's what the theme of this last quarter of the year is for me and for our team and for you guys and all of us, is if you want it, let's go out and start making it happen. Don't just sit back and continue to watch the weeks and the months pass by. Let's take some action, have some activity, start to make some things happen for ourselves. We talked about this earlier on. That lack of forward momentum does a lot of negative things for your business. It feels like the walls are caving in, but also it causes you to start to force pieces that don't fit because you're not having the growth. Now I'm just going to start to throw things against the wall. This is a terrible place to be. This is a place of desperation. When you start getting outside your persona, forcing things that you really deep down know that aren't going to work, you're just kind of grabbing at whatever at that point. We're trying to create a group that all win, that are one percenters. And this is a little bit old data from a few years ago, but adjusted gross, let's call it $500,000. In order to get there, you're going to have to get outside your comfort zone because most are not willing to. You're going to have to do what the 99% of the people are not willing to do, so you can become the 1%. And depending on what state you are right here, it can vary a little bit. But in this industry, with this model, with the amount of tools that we have and everything we're putting together right now, to be a 1% income earner, it's very possible. So that's all we got for you guys today. We're going to get into some more technical stuff on marketing starting next week. We kind of go back and forth from general stuff to specific stuff, and we'll go back into some specific marketing, social media, things of that nature next week.
Mike, that was a fantastic meeting. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and then we'll open up the floor for questions, comments, anything that anybody has. Thank you so much.